What's a game you love but think is severely underrated? My first pick was going to be Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, but in the end, I knew it had to be Ultimate Spider-Man. Everyone always talks about how great Spider-Man 2 is. Everyone knows that Insomniac's Spider-Man games are incredible, but I feel like this game just really doesn't get the credit that it deserves. There's so much cool shit in this game that I feel like if people just played it and saw like what this game has to offer, they'd understand why it's amazing. Because first of all, not only do you get to play as Spider-Man, who plays really well by the way, his moves are a lot simpler than they are in other games, but I think it really works for what this game is going for. But you also get to play as Venom, and I swear to God, he is so fun to play as in this game. Do you remember that sequence from Spider-Man 2 where you get to play as Venom when he's escaping from the Oscorp building? Well, imagine that, but you get to do it multiple times on top of being able to fight Wolverine. That's another thing about this game. Wolverine's in it, and you get to fight him in a bar as Venom. I would genuinely argue that this game doesn't have a single bad boss fight. A majority of them are really simple and don't require that much thought to actually beat them. A lot of them really just boil down to wait for the enemy to finish attacking, hit them in the weak spot, and then wait for them to finish attacking again to do it all over again. And while that is really simplistic and might come off as really boring to some people, the fact that you get to fight and interact with these characters is just way too fun to let the simplicity bog it down whatsoever. You get to fight Shocker, who goes down pretty quick because he's the first boss, and it's Shocker, you're not really gonna have that much trouble fighting him in any game. And like you've already guessed, you get to fight Rhino, and then you get to fight Electro, but not just this version of Electro. You also fight super powered Blue Electro right after. And like I mentioned before, you fight Wolverine, but what's cool about his fight is that it starts in a bar and then it transitions into like this Japanese style house. I have no idea why those two buildings were right next to each other, but this transition is really fun the first time you see it, and honestly, it's fun every time I see it. And then you get to fight Beetle. Beetle's not my favorite character by far, but the fact that he's here is just really cool. And then you get to fight this hulking monster of a goblin. And as you probably guessed, you fight Venom like I think about 3 times in this game, but you don't just fight Venom. You also fight Carnage as Venom, which is one of my favorite boss battles in this entire game. And then on top of that, this version of Carnage is also Peter Parker, so you're fighting Peter Parker as Carnage while playing as Venom. Like I keep trying to tell you, this game is way too fucking cool. As a little added bonus, this game also leans really heavily into the comic book aesthetic, and I really like that because the art style of this game almost makes it timeless. Because despite the fact that the models might look a little blocky, the game is always going to look amazing because it has a unique art style. This is just such a good game that I think everybody should play at least once, especially if you're a fan of Spider-Man. Don't forget to like and follow. Also, I'm streaming now Sunday to Wednesday at 8 p.m, so come hang out if you see me live.